What's going on, YouTube? Today we're talking about hunting strategies. Once you understand the lay of the land and the bedding areas, the feeding areas, and the water sources, and how the deer move on the property that you're hunting, then it's time to figure out where you're going to hunt within those areas. I have always hunted with what I call a natural blind. The 3 trees that you're looking at, I would put my back against the one in the center to break up my silhouette. I could even use that tree there, the big one, to help break up my silhouette and just look out over the area that I was thought deer would come in from. That's what I call a natural blind. There's other things like this brush here. If you had like a foldable seat, you could sit down in the middle of that. The goal is to do whatever you can do to try to break up your silhouette and minimize your movements. Deer see movement the same way that you see deer. Deer see you. When I go to the woods, I'm not looking for a deer. What I'm looking for is a back, is the deer's back along the horizon, or an antler or a tail flicker. I just don't go and look for a deer. They're brown, they're gonna blend in, you're not gonna see them. The first time that I saw a deer, when I was bow hunting, I saw a deer not 15 yards from me, and it was so well concealed, the only thing I could see were its 2 front legs. We're going into their habitat where they live to hunt them. And in Indiana, you have to do what's called fair chase, so you can't bait them. The only thing that we can use is lures and scents, as far as curiosity smells and things like that. So I've had to learn how to just keep things very basic and simple. This will be the first year that I'm using a tree stand. Tree had to be, small enough but sturdy enough to hold the stand. It had to overlook kind of an area where I knew deer would be. If you bring in like a makeshift ground blind, which is basically a pop-up tent that's camouflaged, you have to, in this state, you have to have orange. I think it's 53 inches of orange on one side, so that you don't get shot getting in and out of it. Another product that makes things easy and mobile is camouflaged burlap. I do have some of that, and I've had some for a few years. Because we're filming a lot more this year and I'm taking my son with me, we may get that out and try using it this year, because I know that he doesn't sit still very well. And I don't want to ruin his chances of getting a deer because he wasn't able to sit still. But if I was using that, an area like this would work well, because I could drape the burlap across the 2 front smaller trees, and maybe around one side going back to the bigger tree in the middle, and that would conceal a lot of our movement. And of course we would then sit on 2 of the foldable chairs. But the more stuff that you bring into the woods, the more stuff you have to take out, the more stuff that you just have to deal with, the more things that can clang together and make noise. What we're looking at is an app called Scoutlook. I started using this back when it was called Mossy Oak Scoutlook Weather. This app has been extremely helpful to me. I know a lot of people, and I'm among those people. We go to the woods, we hunt to unplug. But this is one of those apps that the way that it's packaged, the way that it's set up, has so many tools in it for hunting that it's just it's an invaluable tool that helps me hunt. What we're looking at is right here is called the scent cone. It tells you which direction the wind is blowing, so I can plan my day's hunt. If I tap up here, it will tell me what the wind is going to do at a particular time, like that's 12 a.m. That way, when I'm out in the field, I can determine the best entry point to where I want to hunt. I can determine how long to hunt one position. Here's all my saved locations. I know right here is a bedding area. This is also the area that I shot my first deer. Looking at this, looking at the overview of it, it helped me. I've probably never shared this before, but I learned a lot of what I've learned about hunting through my in-laws, my brother-in-law, my father-in-law, and reading a lot, because I didn't know. And the area that I live in, hunting is such a way of life for a lot of the people here that I felt really dumb asking some of the questions that I had. So I dug up like every field and stream article I could find. And when I started hunting, I couldn't tell you which direction was north. If I was just looking at this at the time, I couldn't tell you which way was north. I now know that it's that way. But, hunting here, this is a draw right through here. There's a bedding area there. This is one entry point that I use quite a bit because it's right off the road. I can park down here and by the small cornfield, and then just walk a little ways to get into the woods. And then there's deer just everywhere in here. You walk in and you just immediately see their trails, their tracks, their signs. Here is another route that they take because it gets them to their water source. Down over here, as I was exploring one year, in Indiana we have what's called pawpaws, and this is loaded with them down here, so this is a food source for them. But I know that they hide in and through this area because this is a ravine, this is a hilltop. This is a ravine. This is another hilltop. And they travel through here quite a bit. I've been using Scoutlook for about 5 years. They use the Weather Underground app, which they have their own app and is a good app for weather. But I don't need another weather app since I have this. If you click on the more details button, it will tell you the weather for the location that you've highlighted. It'll give you the current weather. It'll give you a forecast. It will tell you the major and minor times for hunting. It even gives you a mosquito alert according to Thermocell. This app has just been one of those things that I constantly use. Where we hunt, we don't have the greatest cell signal, so you can save a map area to your cell phone, and you still have access to the information that you need. I like that you can log in. You create an account, you log in, and you can have this on your tablet, on your phone, on your desktop or laptop. So it's available across many devices. So however you're planning a hunt, you can do that no matter what you have in front of you electronic wise. If you haven't used this app, there's a very quick tutorial when you first download it. It shows you how to use it, what to do. I highly recommend that you download the app, that you give it a try. Thanks for watching today's episode of Coons Outdoors, and we'll see you next time.